woke up this morning with the sunrise in my eyes. My rock's sweeter, beneath the one I love. I don't know how, don't know why, but I've been toasting all my life. Oh, it's sweeter. I've been toasting all my life.
Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Borough, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Didn't see you there. Good evening and welcome to another night of live Penguin TV. I hope you enjoyed our very warm welcome in Penguin language, which does say happy penguin watching night. Hope you're all excited, and I've started off the stream in a slightly different area tonight because I saw this little dude over here poking his head out of the entranceway of this burrow, number 60. And now just before we saw any penguins crossing the beach or search for any penguins out in the colony, I just thought this was a really cute little introduction to our little penguins. And there is actually a second penguin in this burrow over here, but I think it's got a little bit camera shy, although you might be able to see a little bit of bit of its white chin in the top right hand corner of the screen. So I hope you liked our new special little intro that we just spontaneously did. So everyone, hello, my name is Jordan, and tonight we are going to be watching the smallest species of penguin on Phillip Island crossing the beach back to the colony here at the Penguin Parade. And I am joined tonight by Michael. Michael, come on in and say hello.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live streaming. Good to see you all here.
Let us know what you're going to be up to tonight, Michael.
I'm just going to be checking out the YouTube and Facebook commentary for any penguin questions that we can throw to Jordan. So we want the most challenging questions you can think of. She's done some homework tonight, so she might be able to fill you in with the questions that she hasn't been able to answer earlier in the previous live stream. So
hope you're all excited, because I'm very excited. I have learnt something new during this live stream process. So thank you to all of you who are sending in questions night after night after night about these cute little friends who are just floating around in the water, and they are talking amongst themselves, or should I say hucking amongst themselves. They're saying huck, 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 huck. Is it dark enough? Is it safe? Can we cross the beach yet? What do we think? So it's still fairly light out at the moment. I'll zoom out just a touch to show you exactly how beautiful and bright it is. So at the moment it's still fair. Actually, I'll move it just a little bit that way. Still learning this new little joystick thing. So these penguins are the smallest of the 18 species of penguins in the world, and what they're waiting for is for it to get dark enough that they know all the predatory birds that would love to munch on a penguin for dinner. They want to make sure they've gone to bed for the night. They want to make sure that when it gets to a certain light level, they know that those predatory birds return to their nest, which means these guys can cross the open sandy beach without getting swooped down on, and they can make their way home nice and safe. Let them go. Usually once they get to the halfway point on the beach, there's no turning back. It looks like there's a few who have decided, nope, that is just a bit too light and a bit too scary. What do you, come on, you can do it. There's one that's right in the middle, and he's so unsure whether to join the groups at the rocks or to race back into the water. What are you going to do, little one? So I hope you're all excited to watch these little penguins crossing the beach. Now, tonight we have Ranger Beck counting the penguins over in the skybox. So she right now will be have a pair of binoculars looking and counting all of these penguins crossing the beach, and Ranger Pip is the other penguin counter who will be counting on the far east stand tonight. But it looks like we've already had a start to the count tonight, Michael, and I think I just heard Michael receive some kind of radio call. Do we hear any numbers at all in that first group, Michael?
Yeah, I couldn't quite catch it. It was a bit fuzzy, sorry.
That was a bit fuzzy. We didn't quite get the number, but all you water watchers out there, we would love to know how many penguins you think were in that first group. Oh, and look, there is Ranger Megan on the Penguins Plus stand chatting to a few people about all things penguin. When we have a little bit of a break in the penguins crossing the beach, I might pan to her and see if she can give us a little wave. So this is the first waddle of penguins that has made their way home, and they are nice and early. They've got things to do. They've got places to be. They are not wasting any time on the resting rocks. They are just going to keep on continuing on to their burrows where hopefully they'll be returning to some eggs or some chicks. Now you'll notice that in the bottom left-hand screen, we actually have a filming crew here with us tonight who are doing, they're filming a documentary about these little penguins, and Megan, myself and Andre were actually doing some filming during the day, which was really cool. So it's on a show called Razor, and it should be premiering online sometime in the new year. So make sure you tune in for that. Looks like we've got some penguins heading all the way up the hill. They've got quite a trek ahead of them, these poor penguins. I wonder if any of them might be the parents to, hopefully, I wonder if it was the first scene that we opened on tonight. Look at all that poo on the little highway up there. Look at you guys go. Oh, and there's a few on the actual highway as well. But I just wanted to show you these penguins up on the hill, because as it gets darker, it's going to be a bit harder to watch them waddling up the hill. But I totally forgot what I was saying. I think I finished talking about how we did some filming with that film crew today. So if you, when I'm passing or panning through the Penguins Plus stand tonight and you see a screen up, don't worry. These people have a special permit to take photography of these penguins. But, oh, there's a rabbit. No, I thought it might have been a bandicoot. Not as interesting as penguins or a bandicoot. But so yeah, they have special permission, and they have Ranger Sonia assisting them tonight to make sure they're doing all the right things and they're not disturbing any of our penguins as they make their huge waddle all the way home. So I'm so impressed by these penguins going up the hill. They are just not stopping. But I've climbed this hill. I don't know if you can quite see just how, oh yep, there you go. Just how tall and steep it is, but these poor penguins have tiny little legs that they have to waddle on, and if you were tuning in last night, you would have seen me demonstrate a waddle on live Penguin TV on my chair. But imagine them having to do that all the way up this giant, enormous hill. Doesn't sound very fun or appealing to me. Now it looks like we have a few more penguins. Let me just center this and we'll zoom in. We've got another waddle that is starting to cross the beach. Now, all you waddle watchers out there, I'm sure there is something that you are desperate to know, and that is how many penguins you thought crossed the beach last night. Now, Michael has the magic number, and he would like to give a shout out to one of our waddle watchers out there who got a very, very close guess. So let us know how many penguins there were, Michael, and who wins our metaphorical chocolate tonight.
So there's a couple of very close calls with the guesses. But Jan Hinkins, you were our lucky winner at 1,265. We had 1,292 penguins cross the beach last night. So
awesome.
Well done. Good
so it was Jen,
guess.
Was it?
Jan Hinkins.
Beautiful. And 1,200 and...
She guessed 1,265 and we had 1,292.
Okay, 1,292 penguins was the guess to beat. So well done, Jen. We'll have to employ you here as one of our penguin counters. We definitely need people who are very, very good at estimating how many penguins cross the beach. Oh, we've got a few more friends who are slowly joining in. Can start to see all their little footprints. Oh, there's one racing back. He's like, nope, I am out of here. Let's follow you back to the ocean. Oh, you've got some more friends. That's why you want to join them. Safety in numbers. Fair enough, little dudes. Actually, no, I don't think we've ever really zoomed in on their little footprints on the sand. Let's see if I can. They're so cute. Can everyone see them? Oh, let's focus the camera. Come on, camera. What's going on? Oh, it's not happening for me. That's all right. Let us now maybe find these penguins. We'll see if we can do it on a little bit. Here we go. Surprise, surprise, I'm getting distracted by penguins. But just before we talk too much more about these beautiful little penguins, and let's face it, we know that I could probably go on for a 24-hour penguin stream, as someone mentioned last night. They would like to see me do that. But just before we get into too much more penguin info, I wanted to stop and acknowledge the land that we are bringing you the penguins from today. So as I mentioned, we are here on Phillip Island, also known as Malau in the language of the Bunurong. And the Bunurong people are the traditional custodians of the land here on Phillip Island. And and they've been coming over to Laos for many, many thousands of years, and were the first people to actually see these penguins waddle all the way home. So I would like to pay my respects to the Bunurong, their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge any First Nations people who we might have here at the Penguin Parade or watching live Penguin TV here with us today. Please let us know in the comments where you are joining us from, if you can, and if you know who the traditional custodians of the land that you are on, that you're watching from today. Please let us know in the comments, because we've especially last night, we had so many people posting in the comments the land that they were standing on, the traditional name in the local Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander language. So we really appreciate all of your education and all of your awareness surrounding the First Nations people, because it's so important that we acknowledge their care and connection to country that they've established and maintained for so many thousands of years. So thank you for everyone who continually does that in the comments, and thank you to everyone who's going to try and learn a little bit more about the traditional custodians of where you live and work. So thank you again. Now, these penguins are definitely not keen to cross the beach just yet. You can see they're just kind of, those penguins left. Can we go? What do we think? Should we go? This one's just preening by the water's edge. It doesn't have a care in the world. Good on you, little buddy. Oh, it looks like we've got a few more penguins floating on in. I wonder if this is going to give them the courage to slowly start making their way across the beach. Now, it looks like we had a little group of penguins kind of cross just before. Let us maybe have a look on the resting rocks. Oh no, it looks like the resting rocks are well and truly clear. So that other little group, I think I might have just spotted one. There you go. They have headed off, not wasting any time to get back to their burrows. I wonder if we're going to have some around the corner and slowly start making their way along the Penguin Highway. So I might just, in anticipation, jump to the highway. Oh, yeah, perfect timing. There we go. Welcome, you little waddlers. Yochi, as you slowly start making your way along. Well, I shouldn't say slowly start making your way on the Penguin Highway. This is where the penguins get the zoomies. This is where they go the quickest. One of them is stopping to have a little bit of a look at the reflection. Others are just powering on through. Oh, it looks like there's a rock that they keep tripping over and they keep kicking as they go. Oh, this little penguin at the back was super. What are you doing? You're just going to keep looking at yourself. You can see its little reflection. Oh, wait for me, guys. Wait for me. I'm coming. So we'll slowly get our camera to zoom back around. Oh, wrong way. There we go. So yeah, not wasting any time on the Penguin Highway tonight. They've got things to do. They've got places to be. Although it looks like we're having a little bit of a stop at one of their kind of exits to the highway. But no, I think it might have just been a brief rest stop. You know how you have those little rest stops along those big highways when you've got big drives to get somewhere. We definitely have them here in Australia. But it looks like there's a few more kind of coming out from under the boardwalk. So if you have joined us here at the Penguin Parade, you'd actually be able to stand on the boardwalk and watch these penguins waddle all the way up the highway, which is a good 100 meters or so. And you have a really great view of them as they waddle back home and take the various exits to their highway as well. So let us maybe jump back to the beach and see what is going on. No one's on the rocks just yet. No, that's okay. Are we still? Oh, there's a nice big raft of penguins that has just arrived on land. All you waddle watchers out there, I hope you've got your counting caps on, because this is a lot of penguins, and you know what? I'd probably even say over 100 penguins. So good luck. I hope, hopefully, if Beck isn't too busy counting these guys, she'll be able to provide us with a number. But that is a decent waddle of penguins. If you were watching last night, I called them a buttload of penguins, and I stand by that statement. I think that is definitely a buttload of penguins, to be very scientific. Okay, so we can see that as they start jumping over the rocks, they become a little bit harder to spot, and that's a really good thing for our penguins, because crossing the beach at the end of the day is the most dangerous part of a penguin's day. when they're out in the ocean, their beautiful blue, navy blue feathers help them camouflage against the surface of the water. So any predatory birds flying above can't spot them. And if they've decided to stay on land during the day, they'll typically hide out in their burrows where they know that they're sheltered, they're protected, and as long as it's daylight, they have to stay inside their burrows so they don't get predated upon. But these penguins, as I said, once they know that it's nice and dark, they know that those predatory birds have returned to their nests, they can safely cross the beach, even though it is still a little bit scary as they do their dangerous dash. But usually once they make it to land, the scary part is over and they can start moseying on back to their burrows, whether they have a beautiful beachside residence or whether it's a bit more of a hike to get home. There might be up to 2 kilometers as well. Now, one thing that we also like to let everyone know here on Live Penguin TV is that we hope that you've loved watching these little guys as they slowly start making their way home. But we wouldn't be able to keep them safe if it wasn't for people coming here to the Penguin Parade and buying tours, tickets, souvenirs, and things like that. Because Phillip Island Nature Parks is a non-for-profit conservation organisation, which means most of our profits go into the conservation, education and research work that we do, which includes looking after and protecting these beautiful little penguins. So a huge thank you if anyone has bought a ticket recently or in the past and coming to support us in the amazing work that we do in protecting these little guys. A huge thank you, and we're really looking forward to welcoming more and more people back to the Penguin Parade as restrictions ease. But if you're living interstate or if you're living overseas and you can't visit us here at the Penguin Parade, please do consider donating to the Penguin Foundation, and the link is just in the description below. I've got 2 friends over here. If you become a Penguin Pal, you actually get one of these cute little plush toys, and yeah, those profits go towards funding our wildlife hospital, which looks after sick and injured penguins and other threatened species, as well as a lot of ongoing research projects that allow us to investigate more and more about penguins and be able to answer all your wonderful questions as well. Looks like we've got quite a few penguins coming up the Penguin Highway. Now, while I was in the middle of that little story, I heard Michael get another update from Ranger Beck. What is it, Michael?
So there's about 150 in that little bottle that just came up there.
About 150? Yeah. Well, I did say it was over 100, so all you water watchers out there that got close to 150, kudos to you. You did very, very well. Now, these penguins have decided to hang out here on the resting rocks. Maybe they're not breeding, maybe they're a little bit young, or maybe they've already kicked their chicks out of the burrow. Maybe they've already fledged, which is why they don't feel like they're in a huge need to hurry on through. So we've got a few penguins who are putting on a little bit of a show in front of these people out the front of the Penguins Plus stand over here. Look at them go. Again, as long as we stay behind the fence and we don't make any sudden movements, as long as we don't take any flash photography or any photography at all, as long as we're nice and quiet and respect the penguins. As you can see, the penguins could not care less that we are here. So we're very, very much looking forward to inviting you back. I'm not sure if the penguins miss the people, but we definitely miss the people. We miss being able to chat to everyone and tell all things penguin, although Michael, myself, and all of the other, there's another big wattle that's made their way across the beach. We've been a little bit lucky in these live streams because we've been able to get all our pent up penguin facts. We've been able to give them out during the live stream. So we're very, very lucky. Well, we didn't see these penguins cross the beach, so I think it'd be a little bit trickier to try and work out exactly how many penguins there were. Now, I think it was about at this point last night that I realized I'd been talking for about 20 minutes and I hadn't actually answered a question yet. Actually, no, before I asked Michael for a question, it was funny.
Take a breath, Jordan.
Take a breath. Everyone, I think I remember reading on some of the comments that someone said that I could probably talk underwater, and you know what? You're absolutely right. I totally could. But you know what? I'm not going to lie. I was having a little bit of a whinge to Michael before the stream started. I'm like, I'm so tired. I've been at work all day. I don't think I'm going to have the energy to be able to talk to all these people who are watching on Live Penguin TV. And here I go for 20 minutes non-stop talking. So
I'm like, are we going to finish it on time tonight, Jordan? We got the 5 minutes to go, Simon. It's 5 minutes to go, Jordan.
Hang on, give it a little bit closer. So just for all of your reference, when we have about 5 minutes to go, the assistant gives us this little sign to be like, okay, you need to wrap it up now. And yeah, so he obviously said, if you're tired, are we going to finish up early? And the answer, everyone here knows, it's not going to happen. So hope you're all ready for a nice extra long stream like I do every single time. So, Michael, after all that rigmarole, let us go to a question.
So I've got a really good one here. I haven't really heard this one come out yet. So do penguins have like a unique footprint or a unique sort of marking on them that tells them apart, like our fingerprints or something like that? Do you know of anything on a penguin that might identify them as a unique individual penguin?
That is a fantastic question.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh my god. So do penguins, hey little dude. Sorry, I got so distracted by Michael's question that I completely forgot how to control the camera. Hey little dudes. So do penguins have any like identifying features like a fingerprint or anything like that? I have no idea.
No.
That's definitely going to be...
That one. Thanks
I
for whoever
like
sent that one in.
Thank you very, very much. One of the things that we find is that at the Penguin Parade, when you're running your tour or you're talking to people, you get the same kind of like 10 questions quite regularly. And through this live stream, we've just been getting so many new ones that we've never had to think about before. And even questions that we don't know the answer to because these things haven't been studied, which brings me to so another question that stumped me a little bit earlier, and I do apologize. I'm just going to be using my phone because I got an email regarding penguin blood groups. So Yvonne asked this question, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. She wanted to know if penguins had different blood groups, and I was completely stumped on the live stream. I had no idea. So I promptly asked Professor Penguin, Dr. Andre Sharadia, and also Paula, who is one of our very knowledgeable research technical officers, and they were like, you know what, we have no idea. Let us go and read through a whole bunch of peer-reviewed journals. Let's have a look through our own research and references and see if we can find the answer. And there was no answer. So what Paula ended up doing for us is that she emailed one of her colleagues who works at, hold on, where was it? He is the science coordinator of the Institute of Research and Rehabilitation of Marine Animals, very fancy role. And he sent the following email. Where are we? Okay, so about penguin blood types. To be honest, no one knows. We presume they exist, but there are no studies about the number of types and different proteins that might be involved. As a rehab facility, we can get away without knowing because we only do one transfusion, so one blood transfusion per penguin in their life. So because he works in wildlife rehabilitation, we'll have to do some penguin blood transfusions. So the first transfusion is extremely low risk for hypersensitivity reactions, very big words, because even if the recipient is not compatible with the donor, it will never have been exposed to another penguin's blood, so it doesn't have the antibodies to attack its proteins. You might have to kind of re-listen. I had to read this email quite a few times to actually fully get what he means. So after the first transfusion, the penguin will build antibodies against whatever is the unknown blood type of the donor penguin that it got transferred from. And from then on, there is a risk of future transfusion developing into hypersensitivity. So he said, we've designed a study last year to test how many blood types there are in penguins, but they never got around to executing it. It was logistically too complicated and even in a rehabilitation setting. So that was a big fat email for he doesn't know. The penguin blood guru doesn't know how many blood groups the penguins have. So great question, Yvonne, who sent that in a couple of weeks ago. And I think it was Val C who prompted us to answer or give us a more of an updated answer. So there you go. We don't know. What a great question and something that may be studied in the future. So thank you very much for that. Alrighty. Felt very strange being on my phone while I was on Live Penguin TV. Very unprofessional, but I'll do it for you water watchers. Now, do we have any penguins? It's not really a big group of penguins. I can see a few, like a group of one or two, sorry, a waddle of one or two here and there, but it doesn't look like we have a huge raft thus far. I might zoom out because as I said, I know that Megan is on the Penguins Plus stand tonight, and if she is in view, I'll see if she can give us a little bit of a wave, although I'm struggling to spot her at the moment. Oh no, there she is. Michael, do you mind radioing Megan through and seeing if she can give us a little bit of a wave?
Michael to Megan.
She might be too busy talking to that person.
Michael to Megan. Do you want to give all these lovely water watchers a wave?
Did she say she was too busy?
Yeah, I think she's.
Oh, how rude, Megan. That's okay. She's busy talking to people, doing her job. Let us now maybe try and focus in on these penguins. Alrighty, so maybe let's go for another question also, Michael, although I know we also have written a whole bunch of suggestions from a post that was recently put up on the Phillip Island Nature Parks, what you would like to see in the last couple of live streams before we finish up regularly. And I will say that a lot of people are really, really upset, and so am I, that we are finishing up the live streams tonight. Oh, not tonight, in the next week or so. But it's just finishing up the live streams as we know it. So we're not going to be running it every single night. It's just, we unfortunately, because we are increasing our capacity, we need all our rangers on hand on the boardwalks to making sure we're out there and we are protecting these penguins and talking to people and educating them out on the boardwalks to make sure that these penguins get home nice and safely, with increasing amounts of people coming to view the penguins here. So we will still be doing the live stream on special occasions and having special guests and things like that. But yeah, we just won't be running it every single night. And I know that you fellow water watchers who are regular viewers of Live Penguin TV, I'm sure you will definitely be back and waiting for those special premieres of the Live Penguin TV with special guests and for special occasions. So hang in there, it's not gone for good. So let us have a question or a suggestion, Michael.
We got another question talking about sleeping.
Talking about sleeping, okay.
And do the chicks sleep more than the adult penguins? You know, like little babies. Do they have, do they tire quicker than the adults, or?
Yeah, interesting. So do the chicks tend to sleep more than the adult penguins? Again, a question that I'm not really asked. I don't think anyone here is asked quite frequently. So no, not that we know of. So we say that penguins, they have a kind of 4-minute power nap about 10 to 15 times in a day. So the adult penguins who are out in the ocean and they're swimming a really long way and they're diving a lot to try and find their food, they're using a lot of energy, so they get tired more, which is totally fair enough. Let's jump to the penguin highway because we've just had a whole bunch of penguins starting to come on down. But yeah, the chicks are pretty much just hanging out in their burrow, waiting for mum and dad to come home, or if mum or dad is home, they're just bugging the parent to try and get some more food. So no, to our knowledge, they do sleep at around about the same time as the adult penguins. So about under an hour a penguin will sleep in a day. That one looks a little waddlier as well, that first one as it comes up. So between 10 to 15 times a day, around about a 4-minute power nap where they go through a full REM cycle of sleep, which is pretty impressive for such a little bird. And that's why they can spend so much time out in the ocean, up to about 4 or 5 weeks at a time, because they're pescatarian, they only eat seafood. So they only come on land if they've got things to do, places to be, and if they've got enough food in their bellies as well. So good question. Let us see if we can follow some of these guys. I wonder if, actually, speaking of chicks, I wonder if we'll be able to see. Oh, there's a wallaby on the rock. There we go. See, the wallaby is another neighbour of the penguins. What are you going to do? Wallabies, they're herbivores, so they only eat grass and things. You can see the penguins are like, what are you? We might go around you. We might peck it. Oh my God! Did you see that penguin that stood on the wallaby's tail and the wallaby was like, what are you doing?
We needed outtakes of all these funny moments. That was one of the suggestions in what we should do in the last live streaming. So we should gather all these funny outtakes of penguins and, Goosegate and things like that.
That's a great idea, Michael. I absolutely love it. So we'll definitely have to tell our marketing team to go through the live streams and capture some of the really funny or the really interesting moments on the live stream. And there has definitely been many. But I reckon that was definitely one of them, watching a penguin step on a wallaby's tail. I don't know if you were watching, it must have been a couple of weeks ago, we saw a wallaby kind of checking out a penguin, and that kind of gave the penguin a little bit of a slap, and then the penguin didn't take too kindly to that, so the penguin told the wallaby off, and then it started hopping off. So we've definitely had quite a few funny interactions with wallabies and penguins on the live stream for sure. But yeah, we have to have a highlights reel of Goosegate, some of the bandicoots we've seen, when some of the presenters say silly stuff, which is pretty much me every single night. So I would absolutely love to see that for sure. These guys are slowly heading on up the hill, making their way home. We're going to stop on the little hill on the way up. I don't blame you. We've got more penguins up on the highway as well. Penguins everywhere. So let us know again in the comments how many penguins you think will be crossing the beach tonight. I reckon it's going to be pretty up there so far from what we've seen from last night. So it's usually a couple of hundred more or a couple of hundred less than the night before in my experience. Let's maybe jump back to the beach because we've probably only got about, maybe it was 5 minutes to go 5 minutes ago. So I'm probably going to talk for another 5 or 10 minutes. Hope you are all ready for that. Oh, looks like we've got a little bit of a traffic jam on the resting rocks just over here. Got them waiting and slowly starting to make their way home. So let's go for another question, or let's hear another suggestion.
Got a birthday shout out.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, happy belated birthday to one of our original and regular Waddle watchers, Chris Eaton. It was your birthday yesterday, and as I was going through the comments last night, I saw everyone wishing you a very, very happy birthday. And Chris, I remember seeing you comment pretty much from I think it might have been even from the first night of Live Penguin TV, and you've been watching every single night, watching these little guys come home and being a huge supporter of encouraging people to ask questions and being there in the comments. So thank you so much for your viewership, and I hope you had a very, very happy birthday yesterday, and it was a very penguin fun filled, because we absolutely love to hear that. So thanks, Michael. Thanks for the reminder. Any more suggestions or any more questions before we very slowly start to wrap up for the night?
We've got lots of suggestions on what we should do on our last night.
Very good. Lots of suggestions on what we should do on the last night. Let's spread them out, and we'll do a few tonight as well.
So we've got a few suggestions. Some interesting ones, some funny ones. So
very good.
Can the Rangers have a waddle race competition? So stories about how the Rangers felt on their first night when they became a Ranger at the Penguin Parade, and what was their highlights. They were from Jean D. Linda Nichols thinks Jordan could talk about penguin poo for 30 minutes. No one would doubt that one.
You
Linda.
Are not wrong. I could probably talk about penguin poo for an hour.
Someone suggested I should do the live stream one night. Don't know if I'm confident enough.
Michael, you could totally do it.
I know I can talk about penguins for a while. I do enjoy it, as we all do.
Well, so just to let you know, I think it's tomorrow is Michael's last night doing the live stream, and he'll be doing it with me tomorrow night. So if you were watching last night, we got Heather to come into the presenter's chair and share a little bit of a story about these penguins. So I let Michael know tonight that he has to come up with a good story story or some good material to tell all you water watchers before he says goodbye to the live stream as we know it. So he's well aware of that. Pressure is on.
So Glenn Kilroy would like Jordan to hug for as long as she can. Be careful what you wish for, Glenn.
I did explain
She
what
will
hucking.
rival the penguins in this hucking competition.
No,
I think.
you flatter me, Michael. I definitely could not out-huck the penguins. Not a chance. We'll give it a red hot go. Awesome. So thanks for sending in all your suggestions. Keep them coming. You might be able to find the original post on Facebook, but also let us know in the comments if you want us to do anything special for our last couple of nights as well. So it's going to be me tomorrow night, then I think Megan for 2 nights, and I'm finishing up on Sunday, and then you will be having Ranger Stephen for the last 2 nights saying goodbye. So get those suggestions in for sure. Alrighty, let us maybe now... Oh, there's a whole bunch of penguins that are kind of showing off a little bit in front of the whole crowd. Oh, looks like we've got our little kind of sound microphone there. Let's zoom in on them just a little bit more. Wonder if we can see any poo... No, sorry. You've seen lots of penguins standing around. I wanted to see if there were any chicks about. So I think there were a couple over here. Sorry, I know I keep changing my mind. It's the beauty of doing this live. Now, I'm sure there were last night a couple of chicks hanging around. They were fairly old chicks, but they kind of had their little bit of a mohawk or a little bit of a scarf going on. They still had their little brown fluffy feathers. Is that you guys maybe? Let us have a look as we zoom on in. I think it looks like it. Here we have our, 2 little chicks here. You can see it looks like they've got their, it looks like they're wearing a bit of a scarf. They've got their little downy feathers. So within the next week, these 2 little ones will be well and truly ready to head out into the ocean. You can see they're about 33 centimeters tall, so they are the height of an adult penguin. They're probably fatter than an adult penguin because that's usually what happens just before they're about to fledge. They're so nice and fat because they have to have lots of fat stores to head out into the ocean, but they're just going to wait until all those down fluffy feathers kind of wear away, and they will be complete. Oh, just had a bit of a play with the grass. Look at you there. You are so chunky. You'll be a nice fat heavy penguin. Wait until they are fully waterproof, got all their adult feathers, and then they will be heading out into the ocean. So these guys are probably about 7 or 8 weeks old, and getting ready to fend for themselves. And they'll be back here on Phillip Island most likely in the next year or 2, getting ready to breed and have some little brown fluffy chickies of their own. And an update from the penguin colony today, everyone. We just had a chick hatch this morning. So Leanne, I know. One of, where are you going? Our honours student, she's doing some research at the Penguin Parade, checking one of the study sites. When she was looking in one of our research burrows, there was an adult sitting on 1 egg and 1 chick. So the chick had literally just hatched, and the next one will probably have hatched by tomorrow. So really, really
That's
cute
so
news.
special, isn't it?
So special.
Yeah.
And in fact, what I believe we're meant to have 1 or 2 nests or eggs hatching on Christmas Day.
It's a great little present for Chrissy.
Great little Christmas present. So even though we aren't able to see the chicks when they first hatch, because they have to stay in their burrows with their parents, staying nice and warm under mum and dad for the first 2 weeks or so of their life. As they start to get a little bit older, they'll start to venture out of their burrows. And as they get older and older, like these 2 just over here, that's when they will kind of venture quite far. So where is the closest burrow? Oh, it might be like a meter or 2 away. But you can see over here that they're not bothering all these penguins over to the left, which is a good sign. If they, chicks are always hungry. They always want more food. But if they're really hungry, if maybe mum or dad hasn't brought enough food back, they'll harass any adult nearby to try and get some food. But only the parents will feed them. So because they're not harassing because they're not annoying any of those penguins heading up this little pathway up the hill. Looks like, as I said, they're looking really fat and healthy and chunky. I reckon these two penguins have a very, very high likelihood to survive out in the wild, just because they are so fat and they're not begging anyone for food. So good work, guys. Best of luck for when you head out into the ocean. We'll see if we can see you tomorrow night on the stream. Now, I might just pan to the Penguin Highway for one last little view of these guys right up kind of at eye level. And very shortly, we will actually be opening up the underground viewing area. So you can see there's a little bit of a window where you can watch these penguins literally at eye level. So you'll be able to buy tickets to those fairly shortly.
And also reminding people that if they miss out on the live streaming, that we've got the burrow cam up and running.
Great. Thanks for that, Michael. So if you jump onto Phillip Island Nature Park's live burrow cam, you'll see that there's actually an adult penguin incubating some eggs in there at the moment. So yeah, jump onto that and see what you can see. Hopefully in the next month or so, you'll be able to see some little brown fluffy chicks from underneath mum or dad, which is really, really exciting. So while we might not be running live penguin TV every single night, remember that we do have the live burrow cam, which is live all the time. Alrighty, let us maybe jump over to the beach and we'll say goodbye to these penguins while we're looking out over the beautiful ocean. Any last questions or any last suggestions we need to talk about before we leave, Michael?
I'd like to give a really big thank you to all the wonderful rangers that are answering all the questions on the live stream, that are behind the scenes that we tend to forget about, and to the people like Vivian and who else is...
There's Beck, I know Anna.
Yeah, Linda, she's been doing it.
Yeah.
So just...
Oh, that's so lovely, Michael.
Thank you to all these ladies that are behind the scenes. You're doing a great job, and it's, I can't wait to see you in person as well.
Oh, that's amazing. So for everyone, a little bit of kind of context. On Facebook, if you have been posting comments and questions and comments, you'll notice that Phillip Island Nature Parks will go through and actually answer all of your questions. And that is done by a team of our wonderful penguin rangers. They'll be sitting at home and watching the live stream, listening to our voices every single night and answering all of your questions. So a huge shout out to all the rangers who have been answering everyone's questions night after night, who might not necessarily get recognized for being on the screen, just like Michael or myself. So a huge shout out to who was it? It was Viv, Beck, we had Sammy as well, Linda, I think even Stephen might have done it on occasion. Yeah, so I hope you get some really great answers to your questions, but would love to get the love in the comments for all these wonderful rangers who every single night never fail to get on there and answer your questions as quickly as possible. So thank you guys. We really, really appreciate it, because we cannot possibly get to all of your questions. There are so many every single night. We do our best, and I know it's a little bit hard because I talk so much, and yep, we really do need to wrap up because they'll probably turn the lights off on us very shortly. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching tonight, everyone. I hope you've had a lovely time. I had a bit of a laugh as you watch these little guys make their way home. Before we leave, you'll see Michael and myself tomorrow. So tune in, same time, same place, and we will talk to you all things penguin. You'll be able to see Michael on his grand finale of live penguin TV. Oh, it looks like we've got a few more starting to... that's another big group coming across. Oh my gosh, the penguins just do not stop tonight. So yeah, tune in, same time, same place. Remember that while the live stream isn't going to be continuing past next Tuesday every single night, never fear, we will be doing it for special occasions with special guests and things like that. But if you live in Australia, we are now open, so please come and visit us, come and say hi. We absolutely love it when people come up to us and let us know that they've been watching the live penguin TV. Please don't be scared. It's absolutely mind-boggling to hear that some people will be like, oh no, we can't possibly go up and talk to Jordan or Michael or Megan. They said, I'm too embarrassed, I'm too scared. We are just people who love penguins, and we would absolutely love to know that you've been watching. Even if you just want to come up and say huck huck, we will huck at you from a distance. Yeah, we'd
love to hear your stories on how it got you through the, just during this hard time, and just, where you've come from and just having a chat. It's just so good this is what we love, and it's so nice to just interact with all these faces. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And like we said, it's helped a lot of people. We've seen an outpour of love in the comments of how much Live Penguin TV is meant to all you Waddle watchers, but it's also meant a whole bunch to us as well. Like, we of course love penguins, and we literally get to share this with the whole world in a time where we've been locked down and we haven't been able to have guests. So it's been so lovely to keep our penguin knowledge up to date, and our passion alive as well, while we haven't been speaking to visitors. So it hasn't just been wonderful for you guys, it has been for us as well. So tune in tomorrow night, tune in night after night, and we would love to see you online. So I think one more thing that I have to always say at the end is please consider donating to the Penguin Foundation so that we can keep these little guys coming home nice and safe. And if there is a sick or injured penguin, actually, quick story before I'm sorry. I've got one more question. I know I was just getting ready to wrap up. But earlier today, Megan and I were actually just wandering down the boardwalks, and we saw a penguin just kind of like out and about during the day. And we're like, oh, that's not so good, because if they're out in the open during the day, it's a bad sign. It kind of shows that there's probably something not quite right with the penguin, whether it's sick, whether it's got some heat stress, or there might be something wrong with it. So we had one of our wildlife rehabilitation rangers come down and pick up this penguin and take it to our wildlife hospital because it actually had something wrong with its eye. So we got to take this to our wildlife clinic, and the vets there will be inspecting it and nursing it back to health. So like I mentioned before, the Penguin Foundation actually does fund our wildlife clinic. So if you have donated to the Penguin Foundation by adopting a penguin or becoming a penguin pal or just making a one-off donation, you are going towards helping protect penguins like the one that Megan and I found today, and helping to rehabilitate them and release them back into the wild. So that is something that I forgot to tell you to remind me to tell you guys. So there it is.
That's a positive thing, isn't
it is a positive, So again, adopt to the Penguin Foundation. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Before we finish up tonight, we all know that we have to do our signature huck off. So Michael, are you ready to give all our Waddle watchers a huck? A huck goodbye. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely evening. Stay sane and stay safe. Huck, 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 huck.